Roger Staubach was actually drafted in 1967, I think. I'm not sure. 1965 to 67. He's a former Heisman Trophy winner for the Naval Academy. He didn't get to the league till 1969. He didn't become a full starter until 1971. And when he became a full starter, he became the first quarterback in Dallas Cowboy history to win a Super Bowl and then turned around and won a couple more. He dueled it out with the Pittsburgh Steelers on several occasions. This dude won 6 Pro Bowls, 2-time Super Bowl champion, a Walter Payton Award won in 1978, but it wasn't a Walter Payton Award back then, obviously, because Walter Payton was only 2 years into the league. He was the man of the year for exemplary actions in the community. Out of Cincinnati, Ohio, like I said, he went to the Naval Academy. Roger Staubach was clearly one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And for y'all who get caught up in this concussion protocol thing as if it was something new, Roger Staubach retired due to issues with concussions. He finished number 1 in passer rating in 71, 73, 78, and 79. This dude dominated the league like no other. The Dallas Cowboys, he pretty much, even though Don Meredith and Tom Landry were the faces of the Dallas Cowboys at the time, Roger Staubach made them a legitimate franchise. Believe it or not, as much as they are America's team and everybody loves them as the star, and they came up with that whole law about they got a stadium with a hole in the top because God want to watch the game, they were known as next year's champions until they got Roger Staubach. That's why when you're looking at a guy like this, and by the way, during Roger Staubach's career, when I didn't read off his stats, 22,700 yards, 7 yards a carry, 153 touchdowns, 109 interceptions. This was not a time in which they threw the ball a lot, first and foremost. They didn't throw the ball a lot at this time. And this is before the 5-yard chuck rule. What that means is when Roger Staubach would drop back to pass the football, you could bump a receiver every step of the way until he got the ball, and then you could clothesline him after you got it. So the fact that he still threw for more touchdowns than interception is why he is number 5 on this list. Cowboys are always in the game with Rodgers back there, so you got to give it up to him. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. The New York Football Giants. The New York Football Giants, for the last 3 years, have been successfully snatching defeat out of the jaws of victory, and they did it again this week. And what they did do is this. Like I keep telling y'all, when you have a quarterback that's not an all-time great, to use the terminology that the homie Shannon Sharp uses, he's not a pantheon great quarterback. You must have a balanced offense. Let's look at the New York Football Giants. Now, this is why they lost, but I bet you this is the major contributor to why they lost. You have 37 passes thrown, 16 times running. Now, they lost at the buzzer, but look at on the other hand, you got Cameron Newton on throwing the ball 35 times, and the collection of running plays are 31. It's just clearly a situation, even though it came down to a NFL record tying field goal. What happens is this: you lose time on the clock when you keep throwing the football and the clock stops, instead of running the football with the lead and putting the other team in a disadvantage. People, again, I'm not saying that I'm Vince Lombardi over here, man. I'm not saying, man, I'm B. I know everything. But what I do know is this: when you run, you tire out the defense, which gives you an opportunity to do what you want to do, and then you win. It's not that hard. Come on, man, work with your boy, man. I mean, goddamn, this is not difficult. But they keep telling you this is a passing league, and I keep showing you every week. The more you pass, the more you get your ass kicked. And again, Eli isn't the Eli that I started off betting, Big Illinois, and saying he was gonna win more Super Bowls than his brother. It looked like me and him ended up being a tie in that. But when you have a quarterback who's lost his fastball, he's lost his speed off the fastball, you have to wonder, what the hell's going on then, man? It's over. And nobody wants to say it's over. You keep wanting to put it in the hands of a dude who's finished, and he's finished, and you're gonna keep losing. I'm sorry. I'm a big Eli fan, a big Eli supporter. I've always been a fan since the first time I saw him at the University of Ole Miss University. But it's over for him, man. You need to put the ball in Saquon Barkley's hand. You need to put him in a situation so people like Odell Beckham Jr. and Shepard and those dudes can make plays for him instead of just trying to keep making him a star. It's over for Eli. Now, I'm not part of the faction that says, man, they should have drafted Saquon Barkley, they should have did this, they should have did that. I'm part of the group that says what you need to do is stop trying to draft a quarterback in the first round, seeing how most teams throughout the NFL, if I pull up this NFL landscape, I'll show you that most of these dudes in the NFL their quarterbacks didn't come from powerhouses. The Colts got one of the best quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in the league. He's working his way back healthy, but Andrew Luck, he came from Stanford. Ain't nobody, John Elway and Andrew Luck. The Patriots. Fun fact, I always give y'all a fun fact. Tom Brady, even if he wasn't an all-time great, let's just say Tom Brady would only won one Super Bowl. Do you know Tom Brady would still be the most accomplished quarterback that ever came from the University of Michigan? There isn't another one. There isn't a, like I said, John Elway. Put it like this: Stanford got more big-time quarterbacks than Michigan. John Elway and Andrew Luck. And Andrew Luck ain't even accomplished anything. Andrew Luck is better than the second best quarterback in Michigan history right now. Marcus Mariota, Oregon. Ain't nobody checking for quarterbacks or football players in Oregon. This dude, Josh Allen, he came from Northwest State, Rudy Pooch State University. Texas A&M, former wide receiver, is the quarterback with the Miami Dolphins. Andy Dalton, another dude that came from TCU. Nobody checking for people from TCU. Joe Flacco, from a Division II school. Baker Mayfield, overhyped as, he came from Oklahoma. Aaron Rodgers came from Cal. Matthew Stafford came from Georgia. Blake Bortles came from University of Central Florida. Patrick Mahomes comes from Texas Tech. These schools, these are not powerhouse schools. And a lot of these dudes shouldn't have been drafted in the first round in the first place. But you don't have to go to the big school and get the big name dude, is my point. San Jose State is the Raiders quarterback. North Carolina State is the Chargers quarterback. Michigan State is the Vikings quarterback. The Eagles quarterback came from another school that ain't nobody checking for. People, you don't have to go to the big school to get the big quarterback if you are A, as I stated earlier in the show, coaching, developing talent, and not just your first string quarterback, and B, drafting properly. But hey, people don't believe that, and it's cool. I don't care. Like Milk from Audio 2. I don't care. Now, with that being said, man, I'm going to, again, shift gears, and I'm going to do my final NBA preview of the season, of the preseason, in regards to divisions. The NBA season starts next Tuesday, and due to the situation with my family, I'm not going to have a show this weekend, so I'm not going to do the NBA preview. And I guess I'll do it in some form next Wednesday after we do a couple game previews. This division houses the New Orleans Pelicans. No, I did that last week. I'm sorry. Actually, I did do that. Well, you know what? With that being said, let's finish this NFL talk, because I did do that. I'm slipping. But you know what? I had a situation, so I'm a little scrambled. I was lazy, man. Fuck that. I was on bullshit this week. But the Raiders and the Chargers, John Gruden is still in the funk, in the fall. Melvin Gordon, 19 rushes. Phillip Rivers, 27 passes again. Oh no. Thank you, Joe, man. You know what? Not saying that my uncle who passed away was not important to my family. It ain't nothing. But thank you for the condolences, Joe from Houston. But here's the situation. This is my grandmother's younger brother. My mother would have been 72 years old this year, so you can just imagine how my uncle is. He lived a long, fruitful life. He will be missed. I was getting to that. Joe asked me no Jimmy Butler talk. Really, I wasn't gonna get to that. I was teetering between talking about Jimmy Butler bum ass and not. But you know what, Joe, man, Jimmy Butler. Talking about Jimmy Butler's pointless. That's the equivalent of talking about Case Keenum on this football list that I'm doing. That's the equivalent of talking about Alex Smith. Because Jimmy Butler is a complimentary player. But since you brought it up, Joe from Houston want to talk about Jimmy Butler, so I'm going to talk about Jimmy Butler. I got to give the people what they want, man. Jimmy Butler went to the practice day up in Minnesota and clowned and acted a fool and loud talked to coaches. And pretty much put himself in a situation where they're going to force his hand to be traded. People, when you are Jimmy Butler, in my personal opinion, you are a good basketball player. You are not good enough to be talking that nonsense, man. Nobody, and I do mean nobody, is talking about, man, I got to get Jimmy Butler on my team. Nobody is saying that if we had Jimmy Butler, we would be dominating the NBA. It's said by no general manager in the history of the world. He busted up to practice talking about y'all can't win without me. Now, the question I have is this. What happens in the event that they wake up and stop and get focused? Because sometimes it only takes you being focused and somebody calling you out before you get your shit together. Now, I understand that Jimmy Butler is one of the better on-ball defenders and in the NBA today. But is Jimmy Butler James Harden? Is Jimmy Butler Anthony Davis? Is Jimmy Butler Damian Lillard? Is Jimmy Butler Giannis Cooper? No, he's not. Is he Russell Westbrook? Is he Ben Simmons? Is he any of the players? Is he Joel Embiid? I don't think so. I really don't think so. He's not that guy. So the fact that Jimmy Butler's kicking up all this dust, he is putting the hot lights on him like Steady B, man. He under the hot lights now. Because if he gets hurt, if he does anything to but be an exemplary ball player playing between 82 and 75 games, what's all that noise for, Jimmy? What the problem is, cuz? That's what they're going to be saying. So I don't understand why Jimmy Butler's kicking up all this dust. I really don't. Now, back to football. And since you brought up trades, Joe, I want to know what you guys or anybody think about what's going on with the Philadelphia Eagles. Because that was the next game I was going to cover. The Philadelphia Eagles are a team that are in a little bit of turmoil right now, if you ask me. And one of the reasons they are in turmoil is because they don't have a balanced attack. Anytime you have a quarterback as good as Carson Wentz and you cannot run the football, you're going to have problems. Now, get this. The only time this season the Minnesota Vikings team showed up is when the defense showed up, is when you threw the ball 35 times, Carson Wentz, and ran the ball 17 times. Lo and behold, they ran the ball 23 times and threw it 37 times with Kirk Cousins. People, again, this is what's going on. Balanced attack gets you a balanced team, which makes you less predictable, which puts you in a position to win. I keep saying it, and it's gonna remain true, and that's just the way it is. We can talk this nonsense all you want, but it's gonna remain the same. There's been talk around the league that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to go after Shady McCoy. I think that's a move that they need to get. I don't know if I was the Philadelphia Eagles if I would go after Le'Veon Bell, simply because the Philadelphia Eagles also lost. They lost the underdog that they had. Exactly, they lost the underdog moniker that they had. When you are the hunted, it's a lot more difficult, because when you go into the building, you can go into Cleveland where you just know you're gonna win. Cleveland giving you the best game that they got all year, because then they can hang it on their hat. We beat the champs. And that's what everybody's doing. And that's why it's difficult for Philadelphia right now. Along